Hello and welcome back. Jonathan Mathis, the sports judge, here with you. Thank you for checking out the content and supporting the channel. If you like the content and enjoy sports commentary, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. So, the team that's frequently mentioned in connection with the next Michael Jordan find itself down 2-0 in the Western Conference Finals versus OKC. The series is over, okay? It's a wrap. I'm not just talking out of my ass either, because I really believe they've dug themselves too deep of a hole to climb out of. Game 2 was a must-win because I do not believe the Timberwolves can win back-to-back games versus the Thunder. Something that was kind of the topic before this series is whether or not they could match up well against OKC. We kept talking about their offense, right? Was there a problem with the high efficiency of three-point shooting, relying heavily on three-point shots? And when you look at the numbers, as good as they were shooting the three-point shot, they have experienced a noticeable drop in their three-point shooting performance, particularly in the Western Conference Finals. Now, a lot of that is because they've run into an OKC team that prides itself on its defense, and in these last couple of games they played, the Thunder, who have a representation for their strong and smothering defense, have stifled the Wolves. I don't think you can depend on the three, live or die by the long-range shot versus a swarming defense. If this is the game plan and they can't deliver, it's going to be another short series in the Western Conference Finals for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Knowing what we know about the Wolves with Ant, Ant, who is doing everything he can to carry the aura of his whole team on his back. With everything we know, if he keeps playing like this, it's wear and tear. He's going to get exhausted to where he can't do what he's been doing every other night. So I think they need to adjust, but clearly they need other guys, the supporting cast, to help out, step their game up, raise their level of play, elevate their game. The entire bench can't figure it out. Zone defense seems to be an issue. You saw it. They played sloppy and were unfocused. Being a top defensive team in the league, that to me is kind of a sweet spot for this team. I don't want their lazy defense and lack of physicality to be what ends their season, when defense and physicality are the two things that defined their season. And to be fair, Minnesota benefited from an easy schedule. I'm just pointing it out. If you go and look at their schedule, very favorable. It had the league's second easiest schedule in March and April. And the average team would have been expected to post a plus 2.6 point differential in that stretch. It's nice to draw a team such as the Los Angeles Lakers in the first round. When you look at the Lakers, and I know because I'm a Laker fan, but when you look at the Lakers roster and see how small they are compared to the Wolves, you obviously are bigger than them, more physical than them, more aggressive than them. In addition to that, the Lakers weren't a very good team when it comes to defending the three. They aren't very good at defending the three. So, of course, the Wolves were going to get open looks, and they shot the ball efficiently. Then your next opponent, the Golden State Warriors. All it took was for Steph Curry to pull his hamstring in that series. When he went out with his injury, it was pretty much a wrap for Golden State. What I'm trying to say is that the Wolves are a good team. I'm not denying that. They're an okay team. I don't feel they're that good of a team. And again, they beat the Lakers due to a matchup advantage. It feels like something is missing on that Wolves team. That's part of it. When you beat a storied franchise and beat LeBron James, is you get that high-profile moment. And what that series did for Ant and the Wolves was provide a high-profile moment. After they beat them, the talk around the league was that nobody is beating Minnesota. They can beat you in a number of ways. They're long. They're physical. They have the depth. What are they saying now about Minnesota? Do we still believe Ant is the next MJ? We were talking about this team as if they were the team coming out of the West. Some had already crowned them. You have to put in the sweat, the time to beat OKC. You also can't be careless with the ball and play sloppy and lazy. Game 2, the other night, to me, exposed the Wolves. You watch a lot of games 1 and game 2, they have not shot the ball well. It sounds simplistic, what I'm about to say, but one way they can improve is mid-range shots. I would like to see more drives to the basket. I'm curious to see with them back home on their home floor if they attack the basket often and early and, in fact, play more aggressive. You need Ant to be that guy that sets the tone, and Julius Randle has to be more involved, particularly in the second half, as the second best scorer. It's become a topic of conversation because he's had moments throughout the playoffs where he really produced and put up big numbers. So Julius Randle is capable. And instead of settling for threes, Randle needs to be bullying OKC's defenders in the paint. This is where you need for him to play bully ball. I just think the Wolves are going to be stagnant on offense. There's only 4 plays that they really run. There is no offensive flow. It's astonishing how bad offensively they've been this series, especially when they rolled past the Lakers in 5 games and then Golden State, mainly because of their physicality and top-level defense. Their offensive evolution is stalling. Collectively, the Minnesota Timberwolves have been an offensive atrocity. It's pretty bad for what's been on display. And I don't even know if they could come back from this. I really don't. And don't even get me started on their inability to close out quarters. And I know there are some people out there who may question Anthony Edwards' ability to lead his team. If you are someone still questioning it, I don't think you've been watching this series because he did what he could. So we can't look at him and say he's what's holding this team back or why this team is shockingly bad closing out quarters. They're not insanely inept because of what he's not doing. It's what those around him, the guys he shares the ball with, are not doing. Ant finished with 32 points, 9 rebounds, and 6 assists. And by the way, in that game, he passed Kevin Garnett to be the franchise's all-time leading scorer in playoff history. It's been a tough series. And now it's all turning into frustration and irritation. You can see it when Jaden McDaniels had finally had enough with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander after his right arm was hooked by SGA at the beginning of the drive. Got a bit tangled up. A frustrated Jaden McDaniels reached for the middle of his back and pushed SGA with enough force to send him stumbling to the floor. It was clearly out of frustration. This is a Wolves team that has arguably the new face of the league. This is a Wolves team that went to the Western Conference Finals a year ago. It's unfair to Ant to make it all about him. The way they get back in this series is if they be more aggressive and play smart. You don't see it nearly enough for what I was expecting to see. You got to play Mike Conley more and cut Dante's minutes. The ball just moves way better when Conley is out there. To me, it does. What's going to light their fire is, and I don't know, but it doesn't hurt to try it and see what Conley can provide or bring, since he's been able to get into the lane and collapse the defense and make the right plays. Having him out there opens the offense. And when he's on the floor, he doesn't turn the ball over and calms the entire team down when the guys get too frantic. Not once in this series have the Wolves played their best basketball. What's going to get them back in this series is if they play their best basketball. Too many mistakes and shooting woes. That was on display. But I would bet dollars and donuts the Timberwolves lose this series. So part of this team's struggles is that they're overmatched and being outcoached. I wonder if there's anyone who can step up besides Ant. Regardless, this series is over. When you look at the Timberwolves roster, there's holes everywhere. If the bench is performing well, some of the starters aren't performing well. If some of the starters are performing well, the bench isn't performing well. I don't want to be the guy to speak bad about the Timberwolves, but it's showing more and more that they don't match up well against OKC because you're facing a team that's better than yours. They're bigger, they're faster, they're stronger, they have shooters, they have defense, they have a strong bench. They are buttoned up. I give them zero chance at beating OKC at this point. The odds of being the team to represent the West in the finals are slim for Minnesota at this rate. Even though they're going back home with a chance to get back in this series, I just don't see it. And while the chances are slim, you hope they win at home to keep their postseason aspirations alive. It can't be said enough how poor shooting has hindered them. I was intrigued by the Julius Randle and Anthony Edwards tandem. And since we like to often compare Ant to Jordan, what would Randle be to him? Scottie Pippen? Ant has his flaws, no question, but he can be mesmerizing to watch. There's been nothing mesmerizing about them in this particular series. OKC is just the better team. Ant-Man, Batman, Superman, don't matter. OKC in 5. The reality of what's facing the Timberwolves is creeping in. The one thing Minnesota got going for them is they're heading home for 2 games in these Western Conference Finals. Honestly, it's too early to tell if Ant is going to be the next Michael Jordan. That's as honest as I can be. Do I think he has talent? Absolutely. Do I think he has the skill set of Michael Jordan? Yes, of course. There are a lot of similarities because he always stays in that mindset. I look at the rest of the team. I look at the rest of the team, though, and could say they didn't stay in the same mindset of what got them here. This postseason, the Wolves are riding the highs and the lows of games. And I think OKC already has put them out of their misery. I think OKC has already gotten in their heads enough that the Timberwolves don't have enough in them to even get back in this series. This series is over, folks. But guys, it's been fun. It's been great chatting with you guys. Nice to hear from you all. Thank you guys for tuning in as always. And as I always remind everybody before I get out of here, because I'm about to end this video very soon, but I like to remind everybody to make sure they hit the subscribe button. Smash that subscribe button for your boy. Help him grow his channel. Help him grow his TikTok as well. For those watching on TikTok, thank you. You guys know what to do. Hit that follow button for me. Make sure you guys stay tuned. Make sure you guys come back for more great content. We'll talk again soon, guys. I'm getting on out of here now. It's been a pleasure, as always. You guys will see my face again soon. Don't you worry. I'll be back. I got great content for you guys coming up. We'll see you guys next time. You guys take care and enjoy the rest of your Saturday.